Welcome to the Gita in Action podcast. My name's Radha, and I'm here with our family of seekers, reading through the Bhagavad-gita verse by verse. We are just finishing up the 11th chapter. I thought we were going to finish it today, but we'll finish all except one verse today, and then we'll finish that last verse next Thursday when we meet. Couple announcements. We have so many things coming up. We have a yoga festival at New Vrindavan in August, at the end of August, the 28th through the 30th. We have all kinds of presenters coming, and it's going to be kind of like a festival feel with all different yoga offerings. And we'll have food vendors and henna, and I think we'll have a make your own chai station and just like all kinds of fun things. So if you can make that one, that will be super fun. And then we have a women's retreat in Guatemala, November 1st through 7th. That one is going to be at the sacred lake in Guatemala, this beautiful sacred lake surrounded by volcanoes and mountains. And we're staying in this beautiful bamboo house. It's actually quite large. And we have a private vegetarian chef. And we'll be doing all kinds of fun connecting things. We'll have a cocoa ceremony, or what do they call that? Cacao ceremony. We'll do yoga every day. We'll have nice lake swims, and I think we'll go on some cultural explorations as well. So please think about that one. And then we have pilgrimage in February. So we have so many things coming up. Yes, Asha, do you have a question?
The November. I thought it says 7 to 14, not 1 to 7.
Oh, you're right. It's the 7th through the 14th. Thank you so much.
Of course. I've been looking at that.
I appreciate you for correcting me on that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate you. Yes, okay, 7th through the 14th, so right when it's starting to get cold. And that one's a pretty good price. That one is $1,200, all inclusive, includes the whole week of food, activities. We have to take a shuttle once we get to the airport, which is it's a few hours to the lake. Anyway, and it covers everything. So please consider coming. Text me for information. Soon it will be on our website, or you can email consciouscollective.life@gmail.com. consciouscollective.life@gmail.com. Okay, so many fun things. Let's get going on our Gita class today, though. Before we start, Poppy, can you say our prayers for us?
Hare Krishna, yes, of course. Aham Gana Timirandhyasa Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitanjana Tasmahi Shri Gurave Namah. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swavami Nitinamine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanavayu Vaishnaveyu Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you so much. That was beautiful. So beautiful. So today we are starting text 52. But before I do that, I just wanted to kind of recap on text 51 and really kind of where this chapter is taking us. Okay? Because at this point, Arjuna has witnessed Krishna's universal form. Okay? And it really changed the way that he sees things. At first he was amazed. He saw all the beings in existence just situated within Krishna, all of his unlimited power, his majesty, his divinity, just like on full display. And then the vision shifted, and what especially shook Arjuna was seeing Krishna as Kala-rupa. Kala means time, so he saw Krishna as in the form of time itself. And what this looked like was he was just devouring everything. Warriors were rushing into destruction. Like entire armies were being consumed. It was just this unstoppable force of time that was dissolving everything material. And then this is where things became very intense for him. It's not like Krishna's just showing Arjuna some cosmic spectacle just for entertainment. He's revealing a deep truth about material existence itself. And that truth is that everything temporary will eventually be destroyed by time. And this form of Krishna, time, it forces us to confront a reality that oftentimes we try to avoid. And that is that everything in this material world is temporary. Everything can be shaken. Everything here will be lost. Everything is ultimately destructible. This is the reality. We try to avoid, but this is the truth. And it can feel heavy. But the deeper purpose behind it isn't cruelty. It's redirection. It's kind of like a spiritual tough love. Like a loving parent who knows that holding on to something unhealthy forever will ultimately hurt us more. It's like when kids grow up and it's like time to let go of that teddy bear, or stop nursing. It's like these are just realities that we have to face. We can't hold on to the things that are comforting us forever, because they're ultimately not good for us forever. They're also ultimately not made to comfort us forever. So Krishna in the form of time destroys the temporary to help redirect our hearts towards what's eternal. Because as long as we're fixated, infatuated with the temporary, we won't see the eternal. We won't much more pursue it. And for us, it's easy for us to look at a child who's holding on to that blankie for too long. But we all have our own blankies. Right? We all, these relationships, positions, plans, identities, comfort, successes, like whatever, all these temporary things that we hold on to, we build a sense of security around. And then life shakes those things. Right? And it can be a little bit jolting for us. So what we should realize here is that what we're seeing Arjuna go through, he's seen Krishna in the form of time, and he's bewildered, terrified. We all have our own Kala-rupas in this life. Things that remind us that everything is temporary and that we're all ultimately marching towards destruction. Which sounds bleak, but it's true. It's meant to be a wake-up call for us. This is Arjuna's experience, but it's also ours. We all have those moments where things fall apart, where we feel powerless, where our whole world gets shaken. And what Krishna's trying to teach us in this chapter is, in those moments, where do we turn? Because we see what happens to Arjuna. He sees his Kala-rupa, he sees this Kala-rupa, and he wants Krishna, his friend, back. He wants to turn back towards his two-armed friend and seek shelter in this relationship. This is what we see happen for Arjuna. And this is what we're intended to learn. This is where our real security rests, is in that which is eternal. And it doesn't mean that we don't feel pain. It doesn't mean that we just become like emotionless creatures. We're still gonna be affected by the things of this world. We're not emotionally numb. The pain is real, the grief is real, the confusion is real. So it's okay if you're getting a little bit shaken up by the temporary things of this world. But what spiritual life does for us is it teaches us, it teaches us that we learn what to do when we don't know what to do. Like when you're just spinning your tires and it's like it seems like there's no way out. Every way just looks bleaker than the last. In that moment, we learn what to do. And what we do is we turn towards Krishna, just like Arjuna did. And what happens is, over time, we start realizing that the real shelter was never external in the first place. Because usually when something disturbs us in this world, our first instinct is like, Krishna, please fix this external situation. God, please make this person change. God, please bring this person back to health. Put everything back the way I want it. And we may sometimes see Krishna do that. But often Krishna's doing something deeper first. He's like, it's like surgical, he's like a heart surgeon, Krishna. Because ultimately the external world was never meant to be our final shelter. The real shelter is internal. It's our connection with God. And what happens is, to the degree that external situations completely destabilize us, it's actually revealing how much our heart is still depending on temporary things for security. It's not intended to discourage us. It's not intended to just like bring us down. It's intended to help us learn. It's intended to teach us, to show us where we need to deepen our shelter in Krishna. And this can be such a gift too, because sometimes we think that we're a little bit more evolved than we are. Right? And then something challenges us, something confronts us that we thought we were already settled with, that we were really okay if I lost this or didn't have this. But then it happens. Right? And then we learn just how attached we are. And this is really a gift, again, because it's showing us how much dirt we still have to uncover. Right? So that the soul can shine through, so that we could really connect with who we actually are. And this happens in our spiritual circles too. Maybe you'll have a service that you're very attached to, and you feel like it's pretty selfless. But then when it changes, or all of a sudden you don't have it anymore, you start feeling like, who am I without this? Right? Or how do I serve without it? I know this happened to me when I was serving at Super Soul. And the service ended, and it was kind of like paradigm shifting. It was like, who am I without this service? And it was kind of like a little bit bittersweet, because on one hand it was like just so much that it was nice to not have to be so responsible. But on the other, I realized just how much I was identifying with it. And that was confronting. But underneath all of those layers was just like some liberation. It's liberating really to peel some of these temporary identities that we're gripping onto so tightly, right? Because they actually kind of stifle us a little bit, and they kind of, well, we think that they're helping us connect. Sometimes they do. They're not so much, not as much as we thought they were. Right? So maybe we were doing some service, and that was good, but underneath of that, Krishna may be inviting us to go even deeper. Right? Like, can you find your shelter in me first, not merely in the external form of your service? And I really felt that calling. Right? I really felt that calling in that moment, because I felt like pretty important with that service. I owned that property for some time, and I felt like I was pretty important. And then when it was over, it was like, I'm just like a nobody. I remember feeling like that. Isn't this silly? I haven't shared this because it's like a very vulnerable part of my life, and it like wasn't quite ready to really maybe confront it in that way. But yeah, at the same time, it was very sweet to say, wow, now I have all this time and I can just study and chant just for my internal sadhana. Yeah. Carla, did you have something to share?
That was accidental. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. Would have loved to hear from you. So yeah, sometimes these things are invitations to go deeper in our personal relationship with God. And sometimes even if we're serving God, it's our service in itself we can get overly attached, right? And then not so much selflessly, but more so like because we need it as an identity. Yeah. So I realized that was really a gift. It was really a gift, and it was liberating, and it caused me to take more responsibility for my spiritual life. And I'm so grateful for that. So that could be for all of us. We think we're losing something, but maybe it opens up something else in your life, maybe some kind of time or something that gives you the push that you need to really take more internal shelter of God. And that's what these external changes are supposed to do for us. And when Krishna sees us making those internal shifts, when he sees us kind of getting the lesson, like I'm trying to teach you something here with this external shift, it's an opportunity to see if, to the degree that we take that on and we become more surrendered, we become more grounded, we become more dependent on him. Then these external situations oftentimes resolve in far greater ways than anything that we could force through our own plans and anxieties. And it's quite beautiful. Yeah, I remember I was talking to my guru right after the Super Soul thing, and I was like really concerned about the relationships. And he told me one day your relationships will be much stronger and, what was the other word he used? Closer, I think, than ever. And I was like, what does that mean? How is that going to be possible? I shared this already. Yeah, I shared this already. Is it related to something else? But as we become more internally connected, then these things just resolve on their own. It's like we don't have to force them or make them. It just happens. It's just, because we're more internally connected. And it doesn't mean that we become passive or we stop acting in the world. But we have to take practical action. We have to try. We have to serve. We have to be responsible. But we don't act only externally while neglecting our inner life. And that was another lesson that I had in that. I was doing so much service that my sadhana was like suffering. If I wasn't serving, I was sleeping because I was just so tired. It was just like, it was so much. And so we have to have some kind of balance there. We have to be feeding our internal life also. It's because real spiritual growth means learning how to move inwards. Learning how to realign the heart. Because obtaining God, it's not cheap or superficial. It doesn't happen overnight. But it also won't happen if we don't intentionally turn towards him. So in that, sometimes these painful, destabilizing moments become the greatest opportunities for this spiritual clarity. Because most of us live in this place where it's like, I want God, but I also want some control. I also want comfort. I also want recognition. I also want everything to go my way. Right? And unless life kind of shakes us and our snow globe gets a little bit messy, we're not really forced to ask, what's actually my deepest shelter. in this moment that we get to that place where we say, what is actually my deepest shelter? Even though it can feel super difficult, it can become super sacred. I remember this feeling too. Like I said, there's just like so many emotions wrapped up in this. But when you feel like you're like on the precipice of like upgrading a little bit. I remember I was in Puri, Jagannath Puri, one of the Dhams, when we decided to kind of stop working together. And I remember just going to the ocean and just taking a swim and thinking about, Mahaprabhu swimming in that ocean and thinking like, this is my opportunity. Like now I have all this time, right? Because I had quit my job for the service and then it ended. So it was like, okay, I'm going to go deep inside of this now and just take some internal time. So it can be sweet. It can actually make these really stressful situations sweet if we see them as opportunities to go deeper inside. Right? Straighten that compass again. Redirect our heart towards Krishna. Right? And when we do that, something amazing starts to happen internally. And it's like we're no longer so dependent on the external situation to change, because we've reconnected with a deeper calmness that's internal, a deeper steadiness, a deeper happiness that comes from just being connected to Him. And I wanted to share, I told you guys I had a surprise for you today. There's this song that it's funny, we had a work training, and we all had to share a song that we like really felt like we connected with. And I shared this song, and after all week I've been listening to it since. And then I saw we were going to be talking about this today, and I thought I'm going to share this song with everybody on the podcast today. So I just want to play this for you. Is that okay? Can I play this song for you? It's a Christian song. So he says Jesus, which is sweet. I love Jesus. But it's really just a song about faith and our relationship with God, and really evolving in our relationship with God as we walk this path. So I'm just going to share it. Let me put original sound for musicians. Okay.
I wrote the song different a few years ago, but I feel like the Lord is teaching it to me in a whole new way right now. A few months ago, we found out that my grandmother has blood cancer. And as hard as it's been to watch her lose her hair as she takes her treatments, her faith has remained intact. A few weeks later, Hurricane Harvey came for my hometown, and in 2 days, poured 44 inches of rain on my house. As we're in the process of replacing the flooring and releveling our foundation, we keep waiting on things to get back to normal. And then, just a few weeks ago, we found out that my little brother Daniel has stage 4 colon cancer. After the shock and the tears, my family is preparing to fight by his side as he gets ready to start chemo. In the midst of all this, the prayer that I kept saying was, Jesus, can you just change these things? Can you stop the cancer? Can you stop the storms? But he's chosen not to stop these things just yet. And I'm finding out that sometimes the best question is not, Jesus, can you change these things around me? But instead, God, can you change me so that I can handle the things that you're walking me through? So I keep singing and praying and believing the words of this song, because I know that he is changing me. And that is making all the difference. I don't want to hear anymore. Teach me to listen. I don't want to see anymore. Give me a vision that you could move this heart to be set apart. I don't need to recognize the man in the mirror, 'cause I don't want to trade your plans for something familiar. I can't waste a day, and I can't stay the same. I wanna be different. I wanna be changed. Till all of me is gone, and all that remains is a fire so bright the whole world can see. But there's something different, so come and be different in me. I don't wanna spend my life stuck in a pattern, and I don't wanna gain this world but lose what matters. And so I'm giving up everything because I wanna be different. I wanna be changed till all of me is gone, and all that remains is a fire so bright the whole world can see. There's something different, so come and be different. Oh, I know that I am far from perfect, but through you the cross still says I'm worth it. So take this beating in my heart and come and finish what you started. When they see me, let them see you, 'cause I just wanna be different. Yeah.
That was most of the song. It's a beautiful song, isn't it? Yeah. Would anybody like to share anything before we go into the verse to start our verse today?
Hare Krishna, is that by Walter Hawkins?
It's by Mika Tyler. I'll send it out on our thread. I'll put it on our live thread. Yeah. Yeah. It's really inspiring, huh? It's beautiful that, in all different walks of faith, like, ultimately, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to develop a relationship with God, and through that, become more steady and clear and patient and kind and loving. These are like universal principles of all religions. And ultimately return back home to God, to take our original position as being servants of God. That's our original position. And to the degree that we start living that here, which is a gift, we can live that here. We don't have to wait. We can live that here. And it can uplift us and inspire us and connect us. And to that degree that we step into that identity here, we will find peace and fulfillment even in this life. No matter what. I was just thinking, my husband and I were talking about having another baby at some point. And I feel more and more like it would be nice to have another baby, but I'd also be okay if we didn't. And I felt this way too before we had our first baby. And I just like my life is so full of service that whatever Krishna wants my service to be, I'm happy to do it. So I don't feel so attached to what kind of service that is. And it's so nice to feel that, because I haven't always felt that way. Sometimes it's like I'm so attached to a certain outcome or a certain way of being. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And it's terrifying. And it's like you're just living for the next up before you come back down for the disappointment. But to get to a place where it's like, Krishna, just use me how you see fit, how you want to use me. That's where we can really kind of step into ourselves. That's really our eternal. That's us taking our true eternal identity. And so much grace and peace and love comes in that place. Then we can actually really show up for others, because we're not so scared of holding on to everything for ourselves, because we know this is not actually what stabilizes me. What stabilizes me is relationship with God. And relationship with God, love for God is expressed through service. So whatever service comes, please just keep the service coming. It's very sweet.
Oh, I just wanted to share I was really caught by this line where it says, God, please change or stop the storm. Prayer versus saying, God, please change me. I feel like I go into like, well, God, why me? Please change. Then I will change versus, saying, please change me to handle or look at it differently. I think majority of the time, it goes to why me, God? Why? What did I do? And one making a prayer for the situation to change, or the people in my life to change, or the circumstance to change. And it's really difficult to make the prayer saying, change me, because then the work is on me.
Yes.
So that resonated and hit me really hard. Thank you.
Yes. Beautiful realization. That is evolution of consciousness. And it takes and it becomes more and more natural when we start to realize that, hey, I'm actually not the controller anyway, and maybe I don't know best. And we start to put more trust and faith in God. But at the end of the day, you can change something external. Likely you're just going to end right back up in that situation because it's probably some unresolved karma that needs to be resolved, right? Like a relationship. We all have unhealthy relationship dynamics. So we're in a relationship, we end that relationship because of an unhealthy dynamic, then we end up right in another relationship because of that same unhealthy dynamic. And then it's the same things playing out. So it's like we don't actually need external changes. We need internal changes. And this should be our prayers. It doesn't necessarily, it's for the long run, it's not really going to help to just change our external circumstance, because it's either going to come right back either because our karma or just because the nature of this material world, which is it's temporary, and we're gonna be disturbed. I mean, scriptures tell us that, whether it be by the environment, whether it be by other people, whether it be by us, it's gonna happen. So we have to stop looking for these band-aid fixes, because they're not real fixes. The real fix is inside. Yeah, what do you think, Nancy?
Thank you so much. I just, along those lines, since our last class where we were talking about, the four-arm form, the two-arm form, the universal form of Krishna, and Arjuna's observation and fear and trust, etc. Then with Duryodhana not even recognizing the Supreme when he shows the universal form, I kept on thinking, would I recognize Krishna if he was standing in front of me, right? And that got me thinking about the fact that Krishna is in everything. So that idea of changing internally, that, oh, okay, this situation isn't the way I want it, and therefore it's got to be fixed externally somehow, is to just getting to that place where I say, no, it's about me accepting things as they are, still working, still trying to make things, improve things as I can, but not to be so attached to the outcome, and then to recognize Krishna in every being. We had a giant pine tree fall down last night. We had a terrific storm here. And I can't tell you how sad I am for the tree, although I'm hoping that it's going to be, the next life will be something better. But it was just like, oh, I'm so sorry you got hurt in the middle of the storm. It's out there talking to it. So where do I see Krishna? Am I able to change my consciousness to see Krishna everywhere, and not just see Krishna in the things that please me? So just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking, it's like sometimes you go on vacation and you're like so excited about this vacation, but then like all of these disturbances happen. Your flight gets delayed, the weather's bad, whatever it is, it like gets in your way from your enjoyment. When really we know like the best vacations are when people are just very connected. When you just feel when you're just having a very connected time. That's oftentimes why vacation is great, is because you're away from all the hustle and bustle of your life. You can just take time to really be with those that are dear to you. You know? And it's like, if we could learn to live this way, life could be like a vacation all the time. You know, because we're just relishing our relationship with God so much that these things that don't go our way or outcomes that we didn't want, it doesn't matter so much. You know, this is like, that's really what God's offering us here. It's like, if we could just let go of our attachment to outcomes, we could really be present to relish relationship with God. In the same way, when we're on vacation, we could just let go and just be in our connections. That's what really makes it great. Right? And we kind of learn that lesson a little bit in life, but let's take it to the next level and learn that lesson in our relationships with God. Yeah, what do you think, Shraddhanjali?
Yeah, I totally see all that. The one line in the song you played that I liked too was, I hope when they see me, they see you. So,
Yeah.
like when you trying to see Krishna everywhere, um, also be such that, you know, you point toward God for others. And then that maybe that way they could see um Krishna's potency that way. I don't know. I mean, I like that line. It's just shine, it's the shine your light so that people see the Father through you. Um,
Yeah. You guys are pointing out all the things I love about this song too. Yeah. What a beautiful prayer, huh? When they see me, let them see you. It's like, let me get out of my own way so that your love can just shine through. That's like a true instrument of God. Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you for sharing that and pointing it out, Shraddhanjali. My mind automatically went into how I can speak for myself. I make a long list of the qualities I want in an ideal partner. And then it's like, well, now be that list yourself. That's where I took it. It's like it's so natural and conditioned for us to expect the external and everybody else to meet our list because it makes our life easier versus being some of those qualities or characters, myself. So that's where my thought process went when you shared, when people see me, let them see you. And it's like a tracker, which is very hard to keep on. But I love that share. Thank you.
yeah, that's nice that when you said like you want those qualities in others to make your own life easier. But if you have those qualities, you make others' lives easier. And that's a service to the Lord.
That's ultimately real fulfillment. The other way is just like disappointment because nobody's ever going to measure up, right? Or at least we're never going to feel that way. Until we're situated. Yeah. Nice. Beautiful. Okay, should we do a verse? All right, 53, I think, is where we are. Oh no, 52. 52. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my screen. Okay. Sorry. Let me just pull up database. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Is Veda Base showing on my screen? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
52.
1152.
Whenever you're ready, Stella.
Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear."
Thank you. So, if we remember, Krishna just showed Arjuna his two-handed form, his four-handed form, and then his two-handed form. And so, if we remember, before he said the universal form was rare to see. Now he's saying this two-handed form is very rare and hard to see. Even actually harder to see than the universal form. He's saying this form is very difficult to see. Even the demigods are always eager for the opportunity to behold it. And they can't see it. So this is, we know the demigods are pretty high beings. They're highly elevated souls. They have like the most power, intelligence, spiritual awareness, of beings like us. They're very high. And even it's difficult for them to see. So this tells us something. Krishna's he's not something that can be understood by ordinary vision alone. Okay? It's only through spiritual eyes that one can truly see him. So not by material qualification, not by intelligence alone, not by ordinary means. Ultimately, Krishna reveals himself according to the sincerity and devotion of the heart. That's like the key to unlock this darshan, this vision of God. Okay? This sincerity and devotion in the heart. And that's the practice of bhakti. We're trying to cultivate sincerity and devotion for the purpose of connecting with God. So that's what he's pointing out here. It's very rare. It's very hard to see. No matter how smart you are, how intelligent, how powerful, you have to have a sincere and devoted heart. Otherwise, you won't be able to see it. And that's very rare. That's very rare. Okay, let's go to the next one, 53.
And the form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am.
Thank you. So now he's, again, just explaining how difficult it is to truly know him. And all these things he lists, studying the Vedas, performing austerities, giving charity, they're all considered very pious. Like these are like good things to do. They're spiritually elevating. They give you good karma. They elevate your consciousness. They even like help you attain higher planets. And this is good, because this is amazing. Like Vedic cosmos is very vast. It's like there's lots of planetary systems and different levels that you obtain through different actions. So when you do really good actions, you get a nice karmic bank account and you get to go to higher places where you get to enjoy more. But Krishna's making the point that those things aren't in the realm, aren't in the transcendental realm. Like don't get you to the transcendental realm of loving relationship with him. Like that is far above all of those things. Like it's good to start to be pious and be a good person. Like you do get benefit from that. But the highest is relationship with God. And that abode is like much higherly situated than these other spiritual planets where you get to enjoy and have rewards. So ultimately what we're seeing here, Krishna is not obtained just through piety or external qualification. It's like, I remember when I was growing up, I went to a Christian church, and it's like I learned all these rules, of things not to do. Don't do this. It seemed very like, you do this and you're good, you do these things and you're bad. And it's like, actually, that doesn't even matter. You're only even doing those things so that we can start to get regulated, so that we can start to, prepare ourselves for devotional activities. But those things in themselves aren't what gives you that relationship. You have to cultivate devotion in the heart. Right? Devotion has to be that devotional creeper has to be planted in the heart. It's good to till the soil and make it clean and clear so that you have a nice place for the seed to grow. But ultimately, you have to have a seed. The seed has to be planted in the heart. So that's what he's saying here. No matter how many good actions you do, it's not enough. You still won't be able to see me without that devotion in the heart. And when he says see, it's not just like physically seen. Right? Because many people saw Krishna and didn't really understand who he was. It means recognizing who he is with the heart. And this is only obtained through bhakti. Right? So the mood here becomes very humble. It's not, let me become spiritually impressive enough to conquer God through my qualifications. It's Krishna, please grant me devotion so I can truly know you. And this is really such a change, just such a step off of the external platform of like, let me do all of these things so people can see how spiritually impressive I am, to like just focusing on the heart. And when we really turn inwards and focus on relationship with God in the heart, that's when the bhakti creeper really starts to grow and bear fruits for others naturally. You don't have to try. You don't have to artificially that fruit to grow so that you can hand it out so that people think that you're impressive. That's not the process. I was just thinking about Radhanath Swami this morning, who spent so many years living in New Vrindavan, like off on a hill by himself. Like it was very austere. It was very like remote. And it was several years, like I don't know. I want to guess like 15 years, something around there, that he spent just going inside. And now we see him do all these incredible things and all this incredible projects. But it seems like he spent quite a lot of time just going inside, before going outside. And this is so important for us, because if we try to go outside before we go inside, like I did with Super Soul, right, then we're going to commit offenses. We're going to get in trouble. Because we're not so qualified yet. We're not giving from a place of our tree has just grown and bared fruit, and now we're ready to get. Now we're like trying to excavate the fruit. It's like a scarcity mentality. We're trying to give something we don't yet have, and in the process, it just looks fake, or it doesn't feel so sincere, or it doesn't. It's not. We have to go in to go out. It can't be the other way around. And to the degree that it is, we'll suffer, and those around us will suffer. Yeah. Okay, 54. We'll do this last one, and this will be our...
Radha, can I ask a question?
Yes.
The last part you said, oh gosh, that something about other people will suffer. What was the line before that?
We'll suffer. We'll suffer, others will suffer. If we try to give something that we don't have, if we try to give the fruits of a bhakti creeper that hasn't yet had time to develop in our own hearts, and we try to give it to others, we'll suffer, and they'll suffer.
How will they suffer?
Because the fruit is not yet ripe, and it's not grown from the branches. It's like artificially concocted. It's like the difference between trying and being. My therapist explained this to me one time. It's like you know you want to be a good person. You know you want to give love, but you don't yet have that love in your own heart. So therefore you're like giving from an empty cup. We know this, right? So we have to fill up our own cup so that we can give from a full cup. And if our cup isn't full and we want to give from the cup and it's empty, it's like we're trying and it just feels forced. It feels hard. It's like it feels exhausting. It makes us feel depleted. But if we're giving from a full cup, if that bhakti creeper has really taken root and had time and nourishment to grow within ourselves, just plucking a piece of fruit off that tree and giving away is like it's nothing. It's actually joyful. It like lessens. It's nice to kind of share the load a little bit. Maybe our branches are kind of heavy anyway. It's like, okay, let's disperse this fruit. People are happy. The fruit itself is nourishing. Yeah, so much. Yeah, this is why it's so important to go in before going out. We see this mistake all the time in different spiritual traditions. People get so fixated on the externals, Don't have sex until you're married. Don't, it's like all of these things, which is healthy. It's good. We need regulation. But at the same time, we can't think that those things are the substitute for going inside. Because if we get so fixated on those things, we actually become more judgmental, more closed-minded, less accepting. Because we haven't yet developed the internal connection to support those external convictions. Because when the internal supports those external convictions, it actually makes us more compassionate, makes us more loving. Right? But if we go out first, it doesn't have the same effect. It actually becomes more divisive. And this is what we see all over religious traditions and spiritual traditions. Yeah. Actually, this might be a good place to end for the day, because we're pretty close to our time. Or over our time. I know we started a little late, but do we have any other shares for the day? Anybody else like to share any realizations?
I have a takeaway.
Yes, please.
Krishna, grant me devotion so I can truly know.
So I can truly, what did you say? So I can truly?
So I can truly know you.
So I can truly know you. Beautiful. Krishna, grant me devotion so that I can truly know you. That's the only way. Thank you.
Recently, it's been hard, but I think I have found myself working on making a prayer when I do my japa, saying, Krishna, put any people, any situation on my way that you think will help me build a deeper relationship with you. And I couldn't do that a while back. And now it's like slowly I'm able to say it. Even if I don't fully believe in the fact that I can say it while chanting, it's just, something that I'm like, wow, it does build up. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Poppy. It's nice to have you fully present and with us today. Thank you.
I try. The good thing is, that's the good thing of the flight cancellation is that I get to be here.
There you go. Yes, we see those external setbacks as opportunities to go deeper inside.
Yeah. I love being here. I look forward to being here. But it's just the timing is that either I'm underground, subway, or this. But I love this space. Thank you.
Thank you, Poppy. Any other final shares before we end for the week? I won't see you all for 1 week. Okay, my friends. Well, it was wonderful being with you. Thank you for coming and sharing your hearts once again, taking this journey together. And I will see you all next Thursday. We won't do Japa this weekend either. I'll be on my own with Prema, so I don't have Prema care. So, but I'll be thinking of you all, and I'll see you all Thursday.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna weekend.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
thank you so much,
Krishna.
everybody. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Safe
Hopi, you did not
travels.
put the picture